A book that makes countless people laugh until tears stream down their faces, and then suddenly want to cry again. Why did such a book come from the hands of a Nobel Prize winning physicist? Surely you're joking. Mr. Feynman has sold steadily for decades and driven readers around the world absolutely wild. Not because it dives deep into complex quantum electrodynamics, but because it cheekily shows us that true genius never lives like a serious textbook. This scientific naughty boy of the physics world used a lifetime of adventures to teach us that curiosity is more precious than any medal, and a playful spirit matters more than any fancy title. Today, let's follow in Feynman's footsteps and step into the life of this forever young physics genius. See how he lived the most dazzling scientific life imaginable with his signature, surely you're joking attitude. Chapter 1: The Mischievous Talent Hidden in the Childhood Laboratory. Richard Feynman was born in 1918 in Far Rockaway, New York, to an ordinary Jewish family. His father Melville was a salesman, and his mother Lucille loved art. Though the family wasn't wealthy, their home was filled with freedom and the spirit of exploration. From the age of 3 or 4, little Feynman loved taking apart radios, clocks, and toy cars around the house. His most classic childhood memory was dismantling an old electric iron, studying the heating coil inside, and then trying to build his own small electric stove. Around 11 or 12, he set up a simple lab in the corner of his bedroom, using an old wooden crate, stocked with heaters, batteries, wires, and light bulbs. One of his favorite things was pouring fat into a heating pan to fry French fries, while watching the oil temperature change, bubbles form, and colors shift. Once he overheated it so badly the oil smoked and nearly caught the curtains on fire. His mother rushed in at the burnt smell and shouted, "Richard, what are you doing again?" With an innocent face, he replied, "Mom, I'm experimenting. I want to see exactly what temperature makes the oil catch fire." His mother was exasperated, yet amused, and she never truly stopped him. Even more amazingly, he fixed a neighbor's radio purely by thinking it through. In the 1930s, radios were luxury items. Repairs usually cost a fortune from professionals. But Melville Feynman told the neighbor, "Don't call anyone else, let Richard try." Little Feynman squatted by the radio, closed his eyes, and muttered, "Signal comes in here, through this tube, sound here, no sound there. This resistor must be burned out." He opened the back, tested with a multimeter. Sure enough, the resistance was wrong. He swapped in an old resistor, and the radio instantly played clear broadcasts. The neighbor was stunned, and soon the whole town was saying, "That kid fixed the radio just by thinking." The story sounds like a myth, but it really happened to Feynman. Though his father had no higher education, he taught Richard the most valuable lesson from childhood: don't memorize by rote, always guess why things are the way they are. For example, seeing a bird, he wouldn't give the name, he'd ask, "Guess why this bird has a beak like that? What does it eat? How does it fly?" This questioning style built in Feynman the lifelong habit of never settling for appearances and always chasing the true essence. Once at a museum, the guide called a dinosaur Brontosaurus. Feynman raised his hand. "Why Brontosaurus? Does it sound like thunder when it walks?" The guide laughed awkwardly. "Actually, the name came later." His father whispered, "The name isn't important, what matters is that you asked." It was this troublemaking curiosity that let Feynman later tackle the toughest physics problems with childlike innocence and stubborn persistence. When people later asked why he was so smart, he'd smile, "My dad didn't teach me smarts, he taught me curiosity. Curiosity is like fire. Once lit, it never stops." This curiosity sprouted like a seed in his childhood lab and grew into a towering tree that lit up his whole life. It also gave him, from a young age, a healthy, natural skepticism toward authority. In elementary school, when the teacher said the earth is round, Feynman asked, "Then why don't we feel it spinning?" The teacher was stumped and said, "Because it spins very slowly." At home, Feynman experimented. He spun a basin of water on a swivel chair to see if the surface became parabolic. Of course, it didn't. He later laughed. "Even then I knew hearing someone say, 'It isn't enough, you have to try it yourself.'" This "try it yourself" habit ran through his entire childhood. He took apart the neighbor's old piano to study how hammers and strings made sound. His father bought him a small microscope, and he observed fleas, mold, even his own fingernail clippings. Every time he saw something new, his reaction wasn't just, "Wow, amazing," it was, "Why is it like this? Can I change it another way?" These seemingly trivial experiments trained him to break complex quantum mechanics problems into small pieces and rebuild them. Feynman himself said, "Physics is actually simple. Break big problems into small ones, then solve them one by one." And this breaking down skill was first honed in those messy, mischievous childhood experiments. Chapter 2: Culture Shock at the Princeton Tea Party. In 1939, at 21, Feynman graduated from MIT with top honors and entered Princeton for graduate school. It was America's most elite academic temple, full of elegance, restraint, and ritual. But Feynman arrived and turned it upside down. The classic story happened at a formal tea hosted by the department director's wife, Mrs. Wigner. All graduate students were invited, dressed formally, holding teacups, speaking softly. Mrs. Wigner approached Feynman with a smile. "Mr. Feynman, coffee or tea?" Without thinking, he said, "Both." She froze because tea came with lemon slices, and adding cream would curdle it from the acid. Feynman earnestly poured both cream and lemon in, stirred, and drank it down. Mrs. Wigner was speechless. The ladies around whispered, "My goodness, this boy is so wild." He finished, wiped his mouth, and said sincerely, "A bit strange, but okay, just wanted to see what happens when you mix both." This tea incident became instant Princeton legend. From then on, people teased him with, "Surely you're joking, Mr. Feynman." At Princeton, Feynman also mastered playing dumb to break the ice. Once at a philosophy department discussion, professors argued fiercely about essence versus appearance. They quoted classics, faces red. Feynman raised his hand innocently. "Excuse me, what exactly do you mean by essence?" The room went silent. Everyone looked at each other. All these fads, yet no one could give a clear, satisfying definition. Feynman later recalled, "I wasn't trying to cause trouble, I really didn't understand." But in that moment, everyone realized we argued for hours without clarifying the basic concept. This courage to admit, "I don't know," kept him clear-headed among experts. He wasn't afraid to look foolish, because pretending to understand is the real stupidity. Another time, he attended a lecture by the famous mathematician John von Neumann. Von Neumann paused mid-lecture. "Does anyone know this integral's result?" Silence in the room. Feynman casually raised his hand and gave an answer. Von Neumann asked, surprised, "How did you calculate it?" Feynman shrugged, "I just guessed." Von Neumann laughed, "A great guess." From then on, they became friends across generations. Feynman's Princeton days seemed like constant troublemaking on the surface. But really, he was forcing everyone to face the essence of problems in the most direct way. He showed us, real learning isn't memorizing formulas, it's daring to say, "I don't know," in front of everyone. This honest, ask if you don't know, attitude helped him make friends at Princeton too. When the famous physicist Wolfgang Pauli visited, everyone was respectful. Feynman just asked directly, "Your exclusion principle, why must two electrons never occupy the same state? Any exceptions?" Pauli paused, then laughed. "Kid, You hit the nail on the head. I've wondered about exceptions myself." They talked all afternoon and became friends across generations. Feynman later said Polly told him privately, "Most students ask questions to look smart. You ask to understand. I prefer the second kind." This pure thirst for knowledge made Feynman seem not serious in academia, yet he always earned respect from true masters. More importantly, he brought this attitude into his teaching. Years later at Caltech, his undergraduate physics lectures became legendary. He never read from a book. He talked like chatting with friends. I'm not sure why this formula derives this way, but let's try figuring it out together. Students first thought he was unreliable. Later, they realized this, not pretending to know, honesty made them brave to ask questions and make mistakes. Chapter 3: The Lock-Picking Madman and Hidden Pain During the Atomic Bomb Years. In 1943, at 25, Feynman was drafted into the Manhattan Project at Los Alamos National Laboratory in New Mexico, the most secret project in human history, building the atomic bomb. Security was extreme. File cabinets and safes had double locks, constant ID checks. But Feynman became obsessed with locked things. He started practicing on simple file cabinet locks, studying mechanisms, using wire to pick them. Gradually, he mastered almost every common safe. One midnight, when the lab was empty, he slipped into the room with top-secret files and opened a safe with core bomb data in under 3 minutes. He quickly glanced at the documents, put them back, and left a note inside. "I've opened this safe. You need to be more careful." The next day, security panicked and investigated everywhere. Feynman hid in a corner laughing, but was never caught. Later, he got bolder, opening more safes, even leaving notes in one with the highest secret calculation data. Feynman was here. The whole Los Alamos was in fear, but no one dared admit publicly, because admitting a safe was opened meant the entire security system had failed. In his autobiography, Feynman explained, "I didn't want to steal secrets. I just wanted to prove how fragile human security systems really are. If someone spends time figuring it out, they can crack it." This lock-picking adventure seemed playful mischief, but it showed his unconditional questioning of authority and foreshadowed his lifelong refusal to blindly follow in science. At Los Alamos, Feynman also faced the heaviest, most hidden pain of his life. His first love and wife, Arline, was dying of tuberculosis in an Albuquerque hospital. Hospital rules forbade visits to avoid contagion. But Feynman risked it weekly, biking over 100 miles to see her. He'd wait in the small woods outside, talking through the window. Sometimes he brought wildflowers and placed them on the sill, so the breeze carried the scent inside. In June 1945, Arline was critical. Feynman rushed when the hospital called. She was barely alive. She held his hand weakly. "Richard, I know I'm going. Don't be sad. Keep doing what you love." The day she died, the hospital wouldn't release the body, but Feynman insisted on taking her back to Los Alamos for burial. In his diary he wrote, "I cried for a very long time, but I know she wanted me to keep living and doing what I love." During that time, he shuttled daily between lab and hospital. By day, he calculated critical mass for the bomb. By night, he held Arline's hand at her bedside. After the successful explosion, he skipped the celebration party. Instead, he sat alone in his car under the desert night sky, silently crying. He later recalled, "The proudest and most painful moments of my life both happened that summer." This hidden endurance and strength kept Feynman loving life, even in deepest despair, and taught him that no matter how great science is, it can't outweigh the weight of loving someone. After Arline's death, Feynman fell into deep silence for a time. He almost never spoke of her, burying the grief in work. But he always carried her last letter, which said, "Dear Richard, Please don't grieve too long for me. I hope you keep laughing, keep playing, keep being the lovable and annoying you." This dying wish became his invisible drive for the rest of his life. Whenever tired or lost, he'd think of Arline's smile and tell himself, "She wanted me happy, so I have to live even happier." Interestingly, when Feynman remarried later, it was to a British woman named Gwyneth. She was gentle and resilient, just like Arline. On their wedding day, Feynman deliberately wore a shirt Arline had loved most. He said, "I brought her along too." This deep feeling for the lost one didn't make him sentimental and made him cherish every day more. He started actively experiencing life, painting, drumming, traveling, as if doubling up on everything he hadn't done with Arline. Years later, someone asked, "How did you recover after losing your great love?" Feynman thought and smiled. "I didn't recover, I just kept living. Living itself was my answer to her." Chapter 4. Samba in Brazil and Probability Fun in Las Vegas, Crossfield Revelry. After the war, Feynman returned to teach at Caltech and soon grew bored with pure academic routine. He decided to play something else and add color to life. In 1951, he accepted an invitation to be a visiting professor in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, for a year. By day, he lectured on quantum electrodynamics at the university. By night, he joined local Samba schools. He started drumming from zero, following the rhythm, and within months became an official drummer in the band. On Carnival Parade Day, the big star was absent at the last minute. Organizers pulled Feynman in his lead. He wore colorful feathered costumes, a huge headdress, drumming at the front of the procession. Tens of thousands cheered this American professor drummer. He was completely immersed, sweat and paint mixing, grinning like a kid. Back in the US, he went to Las Vegas to study gambling probabilities. He befriended a professional gambler named Nick the Greek, sitting at blackjack tables daily observing patterns, calculating house edges and best player strategies. The gambler saw his calculations and thought he was a god calculator, buying him drinks. Feynman said, "I'm not here to gamble money. I'm here to study probability. Your wins and losses don't matter to me, I just want to see how math plays out in real life." One night, he used his strategy and won $2,000. He spent it all buying drinks for the gamblers, laughing, "I won, but this money doesn't belong to me, it belongs to probability." After that, he never returned to Vegas. He felt he'd figured out everything he wanted to know. These crossfield experiences taught Feynman deeply. Science isn't a lofty ivory tower, it can blend into any corner of life for fun. While drumming samba, he felt the mathematical symmetry in rhythm. While gambling, he saw probability theory's amazing power in the real world. This playing was actually a deeper understanding of the world. He showed us, a true science lover doesn't lock science in the lab, he takes it dancing, gambling, ing. This bringing science into life attitude also showed in his love of art. After 50, Feynman fell in love with painting. He started from scratch with drawing, even hiring nude models to study human anatomy. He said, "Painting is like physics, both figure out how things are built." He loved painting female nudes most, because the human body is the most complex, natural phenomenon. Once, after finishing a painting, the model asked, "Mr. Feynman, what were you thinking while painting me?" He honestly answered, "I was thinking about how your bones, muscles, and fat layer on top of each other, and how gravity makes them sag." The model burst out laughing, "You really are a physicist, even looking at nudes you're dissecting." Feynman submitted these paintings anonymously to galleries and several sold. He proudly said, "Looks like my paintings are more popular than my physics lectures." He even combined science and art, inventing a unique style, using physics equations and charts to depict human curves. He said, This is true cross-field using equations to paint beauties. Chapter 5. Rejecting Titles and the Nobel Prize, the Naughty Boy Attitude. In 1965, at 47, Feynman shared the Nobel Prize in Physics with Shinichiro Tominaga and Julian Schwinger for groundbreaking work in quantum electrodynamics. When the Swedish Academy called, his first reaction, "Did you get the wrong person? I just got lucky." On award day, he refused the formal tailcoat, insisting on ordinary suit and tie. On stage at Stockholm Concert Hall, facing the world, he said, "When I was a kid I thought, if I ever get a Nobel, I'll wear the most comfortable clothes. Now I've done it." The audience burst into knowing laughter. After winning, titles, positions, and speaking invitations poured in. The U.S. National Academy of Sciences asked him to be a member. He served 5 years then quit, hating endless meetings and electing others. Universities offered department chair positions. He refused outright. "I just want to do research, not manage people." A reporter asked why he was so unaccommodating. Feynman laughed, "I've given enough face to physics, the rest I keep for myself." He even refused to put Nobel laureate on his business card. When a student asked why, he countered, "What's the point of titles? Students come to learn physics, not see medals." This indifference to fame made Feynman a breath of fresh air in science. He wrote a famous essay, The Value of Science, saying, "A scientist's greatest joy isn't getting answers, it's the constant process of questioning. Answers will come to someone eventually, but the joy of questioning belongs only to you." This sentence sums up his life attitude. Don't chase glory, chase curiosity. Chapter 6. The Rubber Band Experiment in the Challenger Explosion Investigation. On January 28, 1986, the Space Shuttle Challenger exploded 73 seconds after launch. All 7 astronauts perished, shocking the nation. President Reagan quickly formed an investigation commission. Feynman was appointed a member. The commission was full of politicians, generals, and officials who wanted a quick, acceptable conclusion for the public. But Feynman refused. He insisted on experiments to find the real cause. During a nationally televised congressional hearing, he pulled a small piece of the solid rocket booster's O-ring rubber from his pocket. He dropped it into a glass of ice water in front of everyone. After 30 seconds, he pulled it out and stretched it. The rubber instantly hardened, became brittle, and snapped like plastic. Calmly, he said, "This is the reason." Launch day in Florida was very cold. Low temperature made the O-ring lose elasticity, the seal failed, hot gases leaked, and boom, explosion. The room went dead silent. This simplest possible experiment pierced through all the bureaucratic reports and cover-ups. Later, someone asked why he dared contradict everyone publicly. He said, "Because truth matters more than face. 7 lives aren't for hiding mistakes." This investigation once again proved, the core of scientific spirit is never fearing to say, "Oh," and never fearing to put the simplest fact in the most obvious place. Chapter 7. A Scientific Life That Forever Keeps the Child's Heart. The sentence Feynman said most often in life was, "I want to know why." From childhood fixing radios, to Princeton's weird tea, to Los Alamos safe cracking, to Brazilian samba drumming, to Vegas probability, to the congressional rubber band experiment, he strung his whole life's highs and lows with curiosity. He tells us, science isn't cold formula stacking, it's the most playful, honest questioning of the world. Genius isn't a born label, it's never extinguished curiosity, and the courage to say, "I don't know." Life isn't a serious exam, it's an adventure where you can always say, "Surely you're joking." In old age, Feynman got cancer and knew his time was short. Yet he still painted, drummed, lectured physics. In hospital, he told visiting students, "I've had so much fun this life. If there's a next one, I want to play again. On February 15, 1988, Feynman passed peacefully in a Los Angeles hospital. Before dying, he told doctors, "I'm going no more resuscitation." When asked if he had last words, he smiled, "I've said plenty in this life now, just want some quiet." May we all, when worn down by titles, performance reviews, and KPIs, sometimes pause and think of Mr. Feynman. At 80, he was still drumming, painting nudes, teaching basic physics, and left the world smiling. With his lifetime of mischief and sincerity, he tells us, curiosity is the best teacher, playfulness the best fuel, and daring to say, "Surely you're joking, let me try again," is the real secret to a brilliant life. Late in life, Feynman did something surprising to many. He started teaching physics to elementary school kids. Wearing a t-shirt printed with formulas, he went to classrooms explaining gravity, why rainbows form, why the sky is blue, in the simplest language. Kids listened, wide-eyed. One boy asked, "Uncle Feynman, you won the Nobel, why teach us such simple things?" Feynman knelt down, patted the boy's head, "Because simple things are the hardest to understand. Adults think they know, they just memorized answers. Kids dare ask, why?" His last public lecture, though very ill, was titled, "The Pleasure of Finding Things Out." He said, "My greatest joy this life wasn't awards or new laws, it was every time I figured something out and felt, so that's how it is. That feeling beats any medal." The audience gave a standing ovation. He quietly told someone nearby, "Stop clapping, I want to go home and paint." Feynman is gone, but his "surely you're joking" spirit lives on. In today's efficiency-obsessed, anxious, hyper-competitive world, we often forget to ask, why? We're busy memorizing formulas, chasing metrics, titles, rarely stopping like a child to ask, what's really going on here? Feynman's mischievous life reminds us, true wisdom isn't knowing lots of answers, it's forever keeping the courage to question. True freedom isn't no constraints, it's daring to say, I want to play, inside constraints. A truly wonderful life isn't how successful you look, it's how much joy you feel. So when life corners, you learn from Mr. Feynman. Say to yourself, "Surely you're joking, let me try one more time." Then smile and keep moving forward.